Hi, I wasn't sure if I wanted to post this, honestly. It feels kind of scary opening up like this online. But this poem poured out of me during one of those nights where everything feels too loud and you just want the world to pause so you can catch your breath. So I wrote this poem, not just for 20-year-old me, but for every woman who has ever felt like she's in between versions of herself. Too grown to be sheltered, too young to have it all figured out, too soft for a world that expects hardness, and too strong to give up on becoming free. This poem is kind of a letter to myself, a hug I didn't know I needed, and maybe a hug one of you needs too. It's called My Wings. I hope it makes you feel seen. I hope it makes you feel a little less alone. And if nothing else, I hope you find a piece of yourself in it. Some mornings I open my eyes and the ceiling above me feels like a sky I haven't yet earned the right to fly through. I'm 20, but sometimes I feel 12 and fragile. Sometimes 30 and worn out. And sometimes I feel like no age at all. Just a soul wandering inside a body that keeps trying to do better. My heartbeat taps lightly against my ribs, a timid visitor asking to be let out. And I lie there wondering how to build a life I belong in, while still learning who I even am. Growing up doesn't feel like arriving. It feels like gently unraveling in hopes of finding something bright inside. I've learned that anxiety isn't an enemy, but a chatterbox narrator in my head, who catastrophizes everything from the weather to whether I'm lovable. She speaks in fast, tangled sentences and picks 3000 a.m. as her favorite time to talk. Still, I sit with her, softly. I've watched my mother battle storms, my grandmother carry fear in silence, women in movies crumble from pressures that the world didn't bother to name. We all shoulder invisible weight, yet somehow rise again. Bent, maybe, but never broken. Some afternoons the world feels curated. Girls with glowing skin and easy laughter. Girls who look like they've never cried in a locked bathroom just to get through the day. And even though I know better, comparison slides under my door like cold air. Then I think of Cleopatra, beautiful and brilliant, yet surely staring at her own reflection in the dark hours, wondering if any of it truly mattered. I think of Anne Frank writing hope into a fearful world. Marie Curie glowing with intelligence despite every doubt thrown her way. If even queens question themselves, then self-doubt is not a flaw. It's simply human. When I walk through the city, I feel like a story still drafting itself. A sketch with lines half finished, a poem practicing its own rhythm. My thoughts gather loudly, a marketplace full of vendors, each insisting their worry is most urgent. But sometimes a breeze touches my face and I remember the world is bigger than the weather inside my mind. I imagine Harriet Tubman standing in the silent woods, fear humming through her bones, but purpose louder than doubt. She didn't wait for certainty. She simply moved. Maybe womanhood is exactly that, moving even when you tremble. I grew up learning to be polite, to keep my voice soft, to make myself small so others could feel large. But my bones remember the women who refused to shrink. Hypatia mapping the stars with steady, brilliant hands. Frida painting herself into entire galaxies despite her pain. Sometimes I wonder how they carried their doubts, their body image battles, their fear of disappointing the world. But they rose anyway, and so can I. My tiredness isn't laziness. It's the residue of every emotional marathon I've run in private. My soul feels like a map smudged with fingerprints from all the places I've battled myself. Anxiety lands on my shoulder like a restless black bird, but I am learning to tame it with patience, soft words, deep breaths. I forgive myself for the slow days and celebrate surviving the heavy ones. My softness is not a weakness. It's a language I'm learning to speak proudly. Some days I feel like a creature stuck between birth and flight, wings half-formed, heart too eager. I imagine Joan of Arc as a girl, just a teenager like me, listening to the fire inside her that no one else understood. She didn't wait for permission, she answered. Maybe the divine calls differently now, through intuition, through the quiet certainty that we are meant for more than survival alone. Courage has never been the absence of fear, only the choice to keep living while fear follows close behind. I count my mistakes tenderly now, like seashells gathered on a lonely beach. Each one tells a story, a moment I risked something, a moment I dared to feel, a moment I stayed human. Like kintsugi pottery, I am mending myself with gold. not hiding the cracks, but honoring them. Women everywhere break a little, heal a little, shine a little. We're mosaics walking the earth, loving the pieces that never fit in someone else's hands. In quiet hours, I speak to the girl I used to be, the one who cried before exams, who stayed in rooms her spirit had outgrown, who feared being too much or not enough. I tell her she did her best. I tell her healing is not linear. It loops, it returns, it teaches gently, and then all at once. I tell her she is blooming slowly, beautifully, the way dawn spreads its light, one soft inch at a time. So here I am, 20 years learning, 20 years aching and rising, 20 years holding storms and softness. I don't have answers yet, but I have direction. My wings are not fully grown, but I feel them forming. Quiet, insistent, determined. My purpose is a lifelong unfolding. Freedom is a daily choice, to listen inward, to trust what feels true, to open the window even when the sky scares me. And as it widens above me, I whisper into the world, I am still growing. I am not done, and I am learning how to rise. Thank you for staying until the end. It genuinely means more than I can explain. If this poem made you feel understood, even for a moment, please know I wrote it with you in mind too. Every one of us is carrying something unseen. Every one of us is growing wings at our own impossible pace. I hope you keep choosing yourself, even on the days when your voice shakes. I hope you keep believing there's more for you, even when the future feels blurry. And I hope truly that you never forget how worthy you are of a gentle life, a peaceful mind, and a sky big enough for every version of you. If you want more poems like this, or you just want to talk about life, drop a comment. I really do read them. Thank you for being here with me tonight. Sending love. Until next time, take care of your wings.